one of the beneficiaries, millions and millions of beneficiaries of the Korean War. Same part, not the north part, the south part. I can stand up here and talk about all good things, whatever I want to say, whatever I want to think, which means I have a freedom because of a Korean War veterans came to South Korea when I was a little baby, and you helped me save my life and retain my freedom, and never forget that. First, I would like to invite, before the program starts, I'd like to invite Tina Korea, the chairperson of the Georgia Youth Challenge Academy Foundation, come up and recognize the VIPs or elected officials.
Thank you, Sonny. Good morning, friends and family. I hope everybody here is doing well. And Sonny, what an honor, and thank you for giving us, each and every one, the opportunity to come and pay tribute to our heroes, our American heroes. God bless you and thank you. And in fact, everybody in this room that has ever worn that uniform, you are my hero. Thank you. God bless you. I'm going to tell you a quick story. 30 years ago, a man by the name of Sonny Park came down to the Richard B. Russell Federal Building and knocked on my door. I was a young whippersnapper with Senator Sam Nunn. And he said, I have a vision because I have been down to the state capitol and there is not a Korean War memorial that recognizes our American soldiers. So I'm going to build one. Well, if you know Sonny, when he puts his mind to it, it gets done. And so next time that you're down at the Capitol, please go across the street to the Sloppy Floyd Towers and see the Korean War Memorial that is there because of my hero, Sonny Park. Everybody in this room is a distinguished guest. And I will tell you that I was an offender bender, or I would have been here an hour ago, and I would have been able to recognize and see everybody that came into the room. So I apologize profusely if I miss your name, but I do want to recognize a few of the dignitaries that are here with us today to honor the men and women that we're paying tribute to. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until I complete the list, and then we will pay tribute with applause at the end. Thank you. Mary Lou Austin, my shero, the President and CEO of the USO of Georgia, and of course she's accompanied by the hero that supports the shero, Dick. Jim Balcom, civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army and a fellow board member with the USO of Georgia. Mayor Jimmy Burnett, Mayor of the City of Suwanee. Dr. Steve Briggs, President of Berry College. Susan Cahoon, partner at the law firm of Kilpatrick Townsend and current chairman of the board for the USO of Georgia. And I saw Mitchell Bush is here. I didn't have him on my list, but he's head of the USO of Savannah. Major General Thomas Carden Jr. Major General Carden was appointed by Governor Brian Kemp in January as the Adjutant General of Georgia and leads our great Georgia National Guard. David Chu, Carol Davis, the granddaughter, and Raymond Davis Jr., the son of the late great Marine General Raymond Gilbert Davis, and Medal of Honor recipient for his outstanding service during the Korean War. And you'll hear much more about General Davis a little later in the program. General Larry Ellis is the former FORSCOM commander and past chair of the American Korean Friendship Society and one of my personal heroes. Bob Hope, an outstanding public relations counselor with Hope Beckham, and an even greater humanitarian and community civic leader. And sir, your name makes me smile. Ginger Howard, National Republican Committee woman for the Georgia Republican Party. Tim Lee, former chairman of the Cobb County Board of Commissioners. Rear Admiral Bob Looney, former Chief of Staff for the USS Meredith Victory, which we all know is a ship of miracles for the largest humanitarian rescue operation by a single ship. I salute you, sir. And of course, the shero behind him is Mrs. Bob Looney. Oz Nelson, the retired chairman and CEO of the United Parcel Service, a Fortune 500 company, and a true community philanthropist. Galen Olkers, Vice President Investments and Assistant Secretary for the Zest Foundation, or ZEIST, I apologize, which embraces a holistic approach to address the needs of underserved children in the areas of human services, education, arts, and culture, so children reach their full potential. Mr. Sam Owens, I saw him over there, hey Sam, an attorney with the global law firm Denton's and the former Attorney General for Georgia, and also a regular on Bill Night's Political Rewind. I enjoy listening to you, sir. The Honorable Brad Raffensperger, and I saw you, there you are, hey sir. It is truly an honor and privilege to welcome Georgia's recently elected Secretary of State and a licensed professional engineer and owner of Tendon Systems, which has over 200 employees. Secretary of State Raffensperger takes Georgia's military so seriously that he has a division in his office devoted to our service members and veterans, and his military liaison, Ms. Lisa Kennemore, is also here with us today. Mr. Secretary, you and I actually have something in common. We both have enjoyed wedded bliss for 42 years. Alana Shepard, founder of the Shepard Spinal Center here in Atlanta, which has been a godsend for so many of our service members and veterans. God bless you, Ms. Shepard. You are a true shield. Steve Sterling, President and CEO of MAP International, a faith-based global organization providing life-changing medicines to millions of children around the world. I believe he actually was one of the recipients earlier, Sunny, for the Korean American Award as well. T. Rogers Wade. Rogers is the chairman of the Georgia Public Policy Foundation and an officer with the Georgia Board of Regents with the Chancellor, Steve Ridley, and was also named as one of Georgia's most influential in the 2018 Georgia Trend Hall of Fame. He is a true patriot and one of mine and Sonny's fellow USO of Georgia board members. If there's any other elected officials here, would you please stand? Okay, let's give a round of applause to these distinguished dignitaries. Thank you so much.
This is Tina's fault. Well, today, as the program started, is right here in the middle row here, the section, Korean War veterans. You are the main guests. And these 740 Georgians killed, that took the supreme sacrifices in South Korea, during the Korean War, are the main reason we are here. We want to remember them, and we want to make sure their souls rest in peace. So I'd like to invite the MC today, this morning, and we worked here last night late, so I kind of feel like at night. Molly Kim is kind of the leader of today's program.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning, right? You're looking all nice, beautiful. I'm your MC, Molly Kim, and I would like to thank you again for taking your time and coming here to honor the Korean War veterans. Thank you. And thank you, Conductor Long Kim and Hope John's Great Youth Orchestra for their beautiful music. Please give them a round of applause. So I'm a certified leadership coach at John Maxwell team. I just got the certificate, and I just cannot help thinking, who am I to stand here in front of you to talk about leadership? You know, I'm just so honored and nervous, and I have never done anything like this in front of so many people from the military. So I'm very honored. And so I just kept asking myself, who would show greater leadership than those who sacrifice their lives, you know, and fight for other people's freedom? And who would have greater love and courage than those who are willing to send their loved ones to a country far away to, you know, protect the people they had never seen, never known? And who would set better examples when it comes to the question, what values and causes are worth risking their lives for? When Mr. Sunny Park invited me to moderate the event several weeks ago, he said, Molly, there is one thing and one thing only that you need to bring to this event. And I asked, what is it, sir? He said, your heart. Your love and appreciating heart for the Korean War veterans. That's all you need to have. You don't have to speak perfect English. You don't have to have experience, you just need to bring your heart. And that's when I said, yes sir, I will do that. And without further ado, we're going to have a presentation of colors by 6 cadets and drill sergeants from the Color Guard of the Youth Challenge Academy at Fort Gordon. And to tell you a little bit about them, as you can see in the video, the National Guard Youth Challenge Program was established by the National Guard in 1993 to turn around the lives of young men and women between the ages of 16 and 18 who experience difficulty in completing traditional high school. This is a cost-free program that is open to permanent legal residents in each of the participating state or territories. And Georgia National Guard, under leadership of Georgia Adjutant General Tom Carden, operates 3 camps: Fort Stewart, Fort Gordon, and Milledgeville. There are more details on the program you see, so you can refer to that. And the 6 cadets who are here today are Robert Harris, Kenneth West, Tyler Mull, Oscar Paris, and Elvis Ali. Please welcome Color Guard from Youth Challenge Academy at Fort Gordon.
Left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Color guard, hold. left,
Director of the Billy Graham Evangelical Association for the invocation.
Well, it's a wonderful privilege and honor to be here this morning with you. Much of us have met in common, and I'm privileged to share with you. Thank you, Sonny, for all you do. After 22 years active duty in the Marine Corps, and 50 years with Dr. Billy Graham, I decided to retire. You can do the math and see a few other things. It's a privilege to be here and to pray. And will you join me in prayer? Our Heavenly Father, we ask for your presence and your blessing upon us today. We're humbled in approaching you, but we know that thine, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the majesty and the victory for all that is in the heaven and in the earth is thine, O Lord, and thou art exalted as head above all. We are gathered and grateful to express our appreciation to Sonny Park and all he's done over the years. Bless him, I pray. And the leadership of the American Korean Friendship Association and all those that work to do to keep the ties of our two great countries together. I ask, dear Lord, that your blessings be upon them and give wisdom to President Moon, Taylor, and in the Republic of Korea, land of the morning dawn, and our USA President, Donald Trump. Lastly, dear Lord, may we be people who do as you have commanded when you said in the Old Testament, he has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Now, as we enjoy our fellowship and friendship, we ask your presence with us, and then your glory, exceeding joy upon each of us because of your presence here today. And we thank you for your presence. And we give you all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, next, Mr. Paul Kim, the Vice President of the American Korean Friendship Society, will recognize the Korean War veterans. Please welcome Mr. Paul Kim.
Thank you, Reverend Holly. Had the honor of introducing the Reverend Holly at my church a few months back. And, needless to say, he's a hero for so many reasons, so many of us. And as a American of Korean descent, there are so many heroes here. It's hard to put in words how much we appreciate it. And no reason to do it other than nothing to say really other than to say thank you on our hearts with you all. And we hope a little bit will become from you guys this day. So I'm going to read off the names of those who are here today and who serve. And can you please come up and we give it an embrace and a rose. So, Dick Austin. If you can't make it up, just you can stand up and hold up your hand and go with me. Charles Black. Glenn Blair. Billy Brown. Ed Clark. Tony Clark. Bob Dylan. Stan Fisher. Tom Bell. Bob Hendershot. Henry Holly. Kimmy Shelton. Quan Taeyeon. Tony Lazaro. Yi Chul-nam. Ben Malcolm. Tony Martinez. Bob Moore. After 3 years of Frank Petraglia. Jack Schuman, Gordon Sherman, You've ever read the book of Breakout, General Ray Davis, the mission that Mr. Moore was on, and moving on to read God's creators as well. So, David Schill, Frank Stratton, Harold Whiting, Joseph Yu, and did I miss anyone? John Pennington. Thank you. Mr. Pennington, Mr. Board, all the members here today. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Very emotional. And then I want you to know, and something I know, maybe I don't know all, but as an American citizen, the United States helped send aid, send our troops to several different countries in the world. Korea is just one of them. Now, after so many decades, that's helping other countries. Maybe there are 100 countries that we send aid, but how many countries among those turn around and thank the American people for the help? Maybe sounds like Reagan, sounds like ICE. But South Korea was what I know is the only country appreciated after all of these years. And then teach, this important, teach young people what American people, American soldiers, you guys, your comment did for that country. It is such a unique culture, but attitude of South Korean people. So we're proud, and it is important for our children to present a flower and little palm with care and love. And I was emotional for me. They didn't experience the war. They didn't see what I saw. But actually, we try to teach them and make sure that the Americans favor what we have received will never diminish in our memory. There are so many Korean War veterans fought for Korea during the Korean War. 740 souls took supreme sacrifices and died, killed in Korean War. Still, the names engraved in the state capitol ground, and will be there forever. And we will remember them forever. The first year when we erect this memorial in 1992, I wish Tommy Clegg that played a major role, but Pete Wheeler, Commissioner of the Department of Veterans Affairs, Georgia Department of Veterans Affairs, actually the lead, however, and you were there. And the Governor Zell Miller then, the late Governor Zell Miller, who was actually a U.S. Marine Corps boxer, he always bragged about he got promoted to the 3 stripes. He was a great help. As Tina already mentioned, Senator Sam Nunn helped, and then we found the right spot at the state capitol ground and erected that memorial. So ever since then, we had a commemoration at that site on July 27th each year. However, as you know, it was hot. And we brought tent, still hot. So we brought the inside the state capitol building, still hot. It wasn't hot, but actually there's so many steps. The first event we had in 1992, I hosted a little dinner at that night at the Westin Hotel in Atlanta's mall area. And 370 people, guests, Korean War veterans and family showed up. Today, I can't even have 37. And this is sad to just think about it. And you made it. You made it to this morning. You made it long distance. It's hard. No, it's hard. It's much easier than state capitol building because no steps. You can park outside, just walk in, and then we don't have to move to the restaurant to have a little lunch. We're going to have lunch right here. It's very important for us. And then I don't know how many more years we're going to continue to do so. But from the Gainesville chapter, they drove all the way down here. We've been sending a van to pick them up and bring them back every year to Boston. But actually, they drove down here, and I was so happy to see able to drive. I pray God every day for your good health and a good memory, and stay fit, and then wish you and your family blessed by Almighty God all the time. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the volunteers. I'm one of the ushers, but there were 21 volunteers working through here. I don't want to name it because it takes too long, but Korean Americans are here to serve you with a good heart. And I want to thank them. And later, General Adams will introduce Bob Lunny, Admiral, Real Admiral, retired U.S. Navy, Bob Lunny, but I appreciate you and Joan, his wife, came down here, flew down here from New York, all the way to commemorate this Korean War with us. You're a hero among several. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to invite Mr. Kim Il-hong, please come up here. I'd like to present. When I funded for the memorial downtown, down the state capitol building, and the Veterans Association, they gave me this plaque, and I treasured this in my office for all this time, since '92. And then I thought it was a good idea, a good timing to present the Korean Association of Greater Atlanta, and then he can keep it and more people to post it somewhere. Everyone, the people the visitors to this building can remember what your comrade did. The 740 names of Georgians killed in Korea. later on, but the order is Marty is going to introduce, but there's a series of speakers, and then without introduction, they come up to the podium and then give your address.
Thank you, Mr. Park. So I'll briefly just call the names. Mr. Il-Hong Kim, the president of the Korean American Association, will give us a welcome remark. Please welcome Mr. Kim.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Il-Hong Kim, President of Korean American Association of Great Atlanta. I am pleased to welcome you to today's event in commemorating the Korean War sponsored by the American Korean Friendship Society. I wish to also thank Mr. Sonny Park and everyone here today for making this special event possible.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Young-Jun Kim, Consul General of the Republic of Korea, will give us a special remark. Please welcome Mr. Kim.
Good morning. Sonny Park, President of the American Korean Association, and retired editor of Rolling, and Major General Thomas Howard, Australian National Guard, and Dan Cross, Assistant Commissioner of Georgia Department of Veterans Affairs, distinct guests, and most of our veterans of Korean War and your families. I'm very pleased to attend today's display ceremony organized by the American Korean Friends of Society. We are together with the Korean War veterans and their families. As a well-known phrase, they came to defend the country. They never knew, and the people they never met, and made sacrifices with great devotion.
Good morning, all of our previously recognized distinguished guests. It's an honor to be here with you this morning. I brought with me today Command Sergeant Major Roy Marchant, our senior enlisted leader for the Police Red Command Sergeant Major. I know who you are. He's not the tallest guy in the room. You know, we in the military learn best through stories. So I'm going to give you two anecdotes that I got to give credit to the Sergeant Major for as we do this solemn commemoration of those that we lost during the Korean War. Sergeant Major Marchant refers to this war as his family war, and he tells me about his uncle Fred Marchant, who was a United States Marine and was killed during the Korean War. Every year, Sergeant Major Marchant and his entire family gathered at the grave to mourn his uncle's passing, not with regret, but with honor and recognition for the cause for which he gave his life. In addition, the Sergeant Major tells me about another uncle by the name of Leonard Cass, who was also a United States Marine. He was a combat pilot, spent 26 months in a grueling POW camp in North Korea, and he was the last U.S. service member to cross back into peaceful territory during the Big Switch, executed in September of 1953. Stories of sacrifice and recognition of honor by the Marchant family were recalled and repeated by thousands of American families every year. We'll never let ourselves forget the bravery, the heroism, and the courage demonstrated by those who gave all of their tomorrows for our today. You all could have been anywhere here today, but you chose to come to this room to participate in this solemn recognition of honor, of sacrifice, of people that laid down their lives for their brothers and sisters. It's an honor for me just to be in the same room with you and to be your servant. So on behalf of the 50,000 men and women in the Georgia National Guard, I want to offer you all my thanks for allowing me to be here today and to say God bless you, God bless the fallen, God bless the special relationship between the Republic of Korea and the United States of America. Thank you.
So is Mr. Peter Kim here today? Mr. Peter Kim is the president of Federation of Korean Association. He will give us a special remark. Thank you.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, visitors, and Korean veterans. First, I want to thank the American Korean Friendship Society for allowing me to say a few words on this special day. As you walk the National Mall in Washington, D.C., you will see 19 larger-than-life steel soldiers walking beside you. 14 represent the Army, 3 the Marines, 1 the Navy, and 1 the Air Force. As you reach the end of the lane, there is the betting pool and the face of 2,400 Korean veterans. This remarkable place is the Korean War Veterans Memorial. As I look upon those faces, I could almost hear again the crackle of fire and the loud explosion of war. The U.S. history books call the Korean War the forgotten war. The books say the war ended in a tie. Americans do not like to remember tie laws. We always want to clear-cut victories, but in the hearts of my country, the war will never be forgotten, diminished, and killed. We will always cherish the memory of those faces in the world. And the face of those Korean War veterans here today, their endured devotion, courage, unashamed, saved our country. It was clear-cut victory, finally, from the bottom of my heart and the hearts of our country. I thank you very, very much.
And it's not on the program, but we have the Georgia Secretary of State, Mr. Brad Raffensperger. Please welcome.
About years ago, a person gave me a book. He was one of our sales recruiters, and he gave me a book. It was called Gratitude. And I read that book, and it was about writing letters of thanks. And it was just a tremendous book. But what I see today is gratitude. And so, Sonny and the Korean community, thank you for your gratitude. Because America does good things, and we do it. They're not expecting to thank you. When you see that heart of gratitude, it also shows you the heart of the Korean people. That's a good heart. America steps up and does great things, and today we get to honor our veterans and we have gratitude for all of that you have done. It was a great battle against a great enemy. Communism is a war against the people, it's a war against God. America stands for the people and stands for God. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. I'm honored to stand before you today. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we have Mr. Mark Smith, who will give us the message from U.S. Senator David Priddy. Please welcome Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Senator Perdue sent his regrets for not being able to be here, but he sent a letter on his behalf. So we wanted to welcome the 2019 annual Korean War commemoration and wreath-laying ceremony. Those who served in the Korean War helped forge a unique relationship between the United States and Korea. It is humbling to know that if it were not for those heroes, many of whom are with us today, we would not be able to gather for this day of remembrance. It is important to reflect and express gratitude to our nation's fallen, our veterans, and those who continue to protect our great nation, both at home and abroad. Thank you to those who took part in organizing this special event. Please accept my best wishes for a reflective and impactful event. And if I can ever be of any service to you and your organization, please do not hesitate to let me know. Kindest regards, Senator David Perdue. And again, thank you for your service. God bless.
Thank you for all the special remarks. And next, we have a very special keynote speaker today. I had an honor to have dinner with him and his beautiful wife last night. When I told him that what he has done for Koreans is the best example of leadership and love, and he said, we just did the right thing. We're not heroes, we just did the right thing. But can you imagine a world where everybody just does the right thing every day, at least one thing? We have someone who can better introduce this guest, retired U.S. Army General and former chairman of the American-Korean Friendship Society. Larry Ellis will introduce the guest to us. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Well, good morning. It is my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Rear Admiral retired Robert Lundy and his bride also of the New York Naval Militia. Admiral Lundy enlisted in the Navy at the age of 17. And for more than 30 years he served during World War II and the Korean War. His distinguished career includes service in the Naval Intelligence, the Judge Advocate General's Corps, and as a staff judge advocate. Admiral Lundy was appointed to the National Naval Research Policy Board, where he received the Navy's Distinguished Public Service Award, the highest award of honor for service given by the Navy. Among Admiral Lundy's many contributions are the Merchant Marine Gallant Ship Citation and the Korean Presidential Unit Citation that recognize him for his courage and his ingenuity. In December of 1950, the Chief of Staff of the USS Meredith Victory was Admiral Lundy. And that ship participated in one of the greatest marine rescue operations in the history, and I may say of the world, in Honnam, North Korea, where his ship performed an extraordinary rescue of more than 14,000 Koreans from the hands of the attacking approaching Korean army in the city of Honnam. Will you please join me in a warm Atlanta welcome to Rear Admiral Robert Lundy.
Annyeonghaseyo. Thank you so much. Sometimes when I hear such nice welcoming remarks, I wish my mother-in-law were here to hear them too. But, before I begin, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Mitchell Bush, who's here with us today. And the reason that I am here today is because of Mitchell. Mitchell is from Savannah, and he's a good friend. As everyone who knows, Sunny Park knows everyone in the world, you know that. And of course, he served with my friend Mitchell Bush on the USO, and of course in some conversation more recently, it was Mitchell that said, oh, you gotta get Bob Lundy to come down and talk to everyone in Atlanta. So that's one of the reasons I'm here. And Mitchell and I had served as past presidents of the Sons of the Revolution. And keep that in mind too, because we come from the ancestors that served in defeating the English back in the War of the Revolution. So that's our ancestry, and Mitchell and I share that. So we're only too happy to be here with veterans who fought to preserve the integrity of our country and also the integrity of the great nation of the Republic of Korea. The reason I
actually invited here to give you some background on our rent up to Oakland. We loaded Army cargo in Oakland, direct to Yokohama, offloaded there, combat loaded with secret orders that we would open once we were at sea through the inland water en route to Korea. The object of our mission at that time was the Incheon landing. We just arrived in Korea. We combat loaded Incheon. We suffered one enemy air attack in Incheon, but were able to land a regimental combat team of the 7th Infantry Division at Blue Beach. And would you believe there's about 13 North Korean prisoners surrendered to our ship. Can you imagine, we were in a ship and they came out in a sailboat and surrendered to our ship. We didn't know what to do. The Navy instructed us to return to Yokohama with them as prisoners of war. We returned with the first prisoners to Japan. Soon afterwards, we received orders to deliver a substantial cargo of jet fuel to a port of North Korea called Hongnam. Keep in mind, a lot of you should be familiar with that geography. Hongnam is about 300 miles just south of a great Russian naval seaport, Vladivostok. So we're very close to the Russian seaport. We traveled through very heavily laid minefields en route from Tokyo up through the east coast of Korea. We lost 3 American minesweepers sweeping the mines on the east coast of Korea. There was also a Japanese minesweeper that was brought into action, and we lost that too. Every type of mine you can imagine. We finally got up into the port of Hongnam, and would you believe we were stopped in the outer harbor by a minesweeper? We were under radio silence, so they sent out a wild gun. That's a device, a spike cable over to examine what we had and where we were going, etc., because we were all under radio silence. And once the minesweeper realized that we still had 300 tons of jet fuel in our lower holds, he said to Alexander, when I said, how did you make the decision to volunteer to take the ship in? He said, the answer is there in the Holy Bible. And he reached over and touched the Bible and said, the answer is here. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And think of that. These were people seeking to be saved. He did not consider them to be North Korean or South Korean, communist or non-communist. These were human beings waiting to be saved, seeking freedom. He took his ship in and he saved 14,000 people. There must have been some divine providence, as he would say. So I conclude by thanking you all for the invitation. It's just been great, and especially working with Sonny Park. And may God bless. God bless the Republic of Korea. God bless America, and God bless all seafarers. Thank you so much.
I present Joan Nani. Mrs. Nani came down from New York with her husband. This is such a great pleasure to have you in our program. Thank you very much. As a little token, what you have, what the veterans have done to South Korea, and I can present there's a symbolic picture I really would like to see here. Is one. Yes. This is a picture of before and after. This book. Also, this is a copy mug. It's not normal copy. This is a collector's item. It's with the Korean, the American Korean Friendship Society to create that. And I'm going to put one more here so you can take that. Thank you again very much.
To be numbered among such distinguished personalities and the humility that has been expressed today that I have heard and has moved me so much. And I look up here and I see this and I say, was I one of those guys? I was in the 5th Infantry Division when I was 14, paratroopers at 15, and parachuted into Korea when I was 16. I didn't understand a lot of things. And a lot of things I'm still working on. As one of my good friends, Dr. Rhodes, in Chattanooga, we talked a lot, and he said, well, now you're in a time in your life you're reflecting on a lot of things. I said, yes, I am. And one of the things is that the Korean War, I guess, was a defining experience of my life. And I don't regret anything that I may have gone through, and I look at this beautiful flower that you gave me, and thank you so much. And it fell off my lapel, and I picked it up and I looked at it and I saw faces. I'm blessed to share in services of this time quite often, and I see names, and I always like to say that we see names, but really just reflect a moment, you see a personality. You see a young man that went to school, a young man that left home, and he had all of his dreams, but those dreams that sometimes we would talk about, because I was not a commissioned officer, I was a squad leader in the paratroopers. And we would talk about things that we were going to do, and then later I would think about, well, and I was invited to come and to speak there in the church. And I had a chance then to meet people and to be in their homes and to speak in hospitals and other churches, military bases, schools, and meet the people and try to get over the shock that I went through because, or was going through because when I left at 18 to come home. And I'm honored to serve with you fellows. We came home, but they stayed. And I was in shock because I could remember all of the rubble. And that haunted me. But when I went back, I saw the beauty. I was shocked, Mr. Park.
And the color guard from the Youth Challenge Academy at Fort Worth will help us with the ceremony. So the first, Republic of Korea. Korean War Veterans Associations of Raymond Davis Atlanta Chapter. Korean War Veterans Associations of Gainesville Chapter.
U.S. Chaplain Corps of the U.S. USO Georgia. Korean American Association of Greater Atlanta. Atlanta Rotary Club. American Korean Friendship Society. Lastly, Kimwa, Georgia.
Heroes that fought in the Korean War actually created the miracle in Korean Peninsula. You all know that. The Korean War veterans means, or the late General Raymond Davis means to me, is a Korean all saying, you are heroes, and among those heroes, General Raymond Davis stands out. Is it Gil Davis here? Carol Davis? Yeah. We have such an honor to have Raymond Davis Jr., I call him Gil Davis, is here with us. And his daughter, actually General Raymond Davis' granddaughter, Carol, is here with us. It's such an emotional ceremony because he passed away in 1990. What year was it? It was not 2005. I think 2005. He passed away. You all know that. We went to the Stockbridge for his funeral. I met General Raymond Davis. I feel like I met him during the war. He was a lieutenant colonel, and I was an 8 years old boy in a war field. I met him at actually 1993 when we dedicated, 1992 we dedicated a memorial in the Georgia State Capitol. And then 1995, you'll know, we, with the efforts of Korean war veterans and the Korean government, erected Korean War Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. You can see the backdrop and the scene that many of you already visited. Many of you remember General Raymond Davis was a co-chair in that committee to raise funds for that memorial, along with late General Stilwell, who was a co-chair along with General Raymond Davis. That was the time I met him to help him to raise money. And he was happened to be from Stockbridge, Georgia. And then the first time I met him, I never felt he was like a Marine Corps or anything, but just a nice, elderly gentleman. As many of you know, he's a humble gentleman, just good humor. And he taught me a lot from the beginning. And I follow him around because I really, really liked him. And later, fast forward, later, I started calling him Daddy. And then his wife, Knox Davis, amazing lady, I called him Mom, called her Mom. And we become family with the Gill Davis and Davis family. And then we just were like a family. The relationship was so good. And then another organization jumped into the relationship was a very college. One day he came to my office. General Davis wasn't using my office as his office. He used my secretary as his secretary when he wants to write the letters and things. And then one day he wanted me to go somewhere. So where? And then Rome, Georgia. Rome, Georgia. What's it got to do with Rome, Georgia? And then he was talking about Berry College and very good educational institution. I heard about the Martha Berry, but I didn't have a chance to visit the Berry College. So I went to Berry College with Gary Waters. Who is it, Gary? Gary Waters is here with us today. There he is. Thank you, Gary. And Gary was with Raymond General Davis. And so I went up to Berry College, and I really, the moment I arrived there, I liked the Berry College so much. The relationship that began. And then I ended up served at the Board of Trustees of Berry College for over 10 years. And then what I learned from that educational institution, it made me grow more. It's a really, really great institution, and I'd like you to try to visit one day if you have not yet. It's a great organization, and we should be very proud that Georgia has such a great organization. As the relationship, the treasure between me and Korean War veterans. Once again, General Raymond Davis is not one person, but is a symbol to me. The symbolic person to many inside the Korean Americans. He is a Korean War veteran. And then recently, Gary and I talk about the Raymond Davis, how we memorialize General Raymond Davis or Korean War veterans. And we talked about last 10 years. And I saved some money and sent it, build an endowment. And now that endowment grew to $225,000. And this is a moment that I would like to transfer that endowment in order to Berry College to host Raymond G. Davis International Scholarship Fund. So we will remember General Raymond Davis, who is a Korean War veteran, who is actually a youth. So I thought this is a great timing and place to have a little ceremony and dedicate the scholarship fund in his name today. I'd like to invite Steve Briggs, president of the Berry College. This is a little check. This is the money they already have in the account, and I'd like to present. If Sunny Park money was in the Raymond Davis money. It's right. Keep this money, and then they will make most of this fund. I tell you, the very college, I'm very proud of. You think I'm biased, but it's the truth.
Thank you. I'll keep my remarks short because I know we're waiting for lunch. But it is, as Sonny described it 20 years ago, General Davis was a member of our board of visitors, and as he was getting ready to step down and retire from that position, he encouraged us. He actually insisted that we invite Sonny Park to fill in his place. And Sonny became a member of our board of trustees and served for a dozen years. Brought us so much joy. I will never forget the commencement speech that Sonny Park gave, where he talked about the gifts that he had been given, and talked about his golden life, or the opportunity he had to pay $1 million in taxes to the United States. He said, many of you don't have that goal. He said, think how much money you have to make to pay $1 million in taxes. And so our students were just really impressed.
By the Rogers Way, in remembering General Raymond Davis. As you know, Rogers Way is hold on, Rogers. Thank you, Hollywood, that remind me. Please have a seat just a second. I forgot. I'm getting old too. I'd like to invite the Gainesville Champion Korean War veterans. Maybe Hollywood, his nickname is Hollywood. He's not a Hollywood star, but to me he's much better than the actors out there. The Gainesville chapter was founded a long time ago, and they dissolved the chapter because attendees are really diminished. So they decided they have a little balance in the bank account, over $1 million. And then turned it over to me. And then one day he called me and said, Sonny, we got a little money left over. And then as we check to close the doors, and then we're going to close the bank account, they got a little balance, and I want to send it to you, so you use whatever the best use of it.
Well, thank you, Sonny. And he suggested we give it to this endowment and a scholarship. I think that's wonderful because this little chapter is going to keep giving, just like you keep giving. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
He gave me the opportunity to talk about it. Now, the endowment is start with $225,000, and we got a big check from Gainesville chapter going on. It's not commercial, but if, no pressure, if any one of you want to add to this endowment, say $10 or $5 or $100 or $1 million, Berry College has a good hand to handle that's the money and make the most of it. You give them $1,000, they will make it happen too. Gary, you're right. They will make it happen. Is the use of $1 million is really truthfully that the Berry College is the one good institution that I know, education institution I know that will make most of your donation. So give me the opportunity to advertise a little bit about the scholarship. Now Rogers Way, please. Rogers Way is a member of Georgia Border Region. You have money? we want to send the hat around. No, anybody else? Wow, thank you. So it came from you, Gordon? Thank you very much, appreciate it. Now I want to send it over to well, I got this is my name. I give you that name.
About having a friend like Sonny. He's not only a friend of long, many years, but he's a neighbor. And if any of you have ever been asked by him to do something, you know you can't say no. I don't know what would happen to my yard if he did. Anyway, he called. He and I had breakfast a few weeks ago. He told me about the gift that he was going to give, the scholarship. And then yesterday he called and asked if I'd like to say something about the letters. And I could have all 2 minutes. So the hard part about talking about Ray Davis is that you can't put it in 2 minutes. It takes a lifetime. I was privileged to work with him for several years and have him as a friend for 20 more. But I thought, since we talked about his military career, some what he's done in public. He came out of Fitzgerald, Georgia, and went to what was then known as Tech High in Atlanta, and went over to the trade school on North Avenue right after that. Misguided but appropriate. And he worked nights at the Edwards Pie Company. Went all the way through school. He worked days to become an engineer and graduated with honors. He also graduated as the top cadet in the Army ROTC organization. This was in the middle of the Depression in 1937. The Army was giving reserve commissions. The Marines were offering a permanent commission. And in June of 37, Ray Davis became a Marine. And from then until his death, he never stopped serving. So not only as a Marine, but as a citizen, as a friend, as a mentor. There were 5 commandants in the Marine Corps that considered Ray Davis to be one of their leaders. And he continued that as a civilian. He worked in Georgia, he worked in schools, he worked on the Barry board. He and I had talked about Barry a lot, family connection at Barry, and he took great pride in what he did there. He was delighted with his scholarship. And I think it's the kind of thing that he would like to have done and would have done if he were here. But wherever he's gone, he's leading a lot of people there. And I can guarantee you that he would appreciate being here with his friends from the Korean War, from Korea, and from here. And thank you all very much for being here, and thank you for honoring Ray Davis. And that's my 2 minutes.
We will have retiring of colors by the Fort Gordon Color Guard.
Left, right, left, right, left. Left, right, left. Mark time, mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. Color guard, hold. Reset, arms. Order on. Ready, cut. Retire the colors. Left, face. Come left, hard, left, 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 right, right, left, 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 right, right, left, 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 right.